Galveston is a very popular leisure location for the population of Houston and surrounding areas. However, in a survey, only 4% of respondents considered Galveston a pretty beach. A serious problem for Galveston Island is the erosion of the shoreline. This has numerous effects, including shrinking of beach habitats for local plants and animals, destroying of beaches that bring in tourism, and eroding of beaches that can also lead to the destruction of property. This shoreline along the portion of the island is experiencing erosion, with the area in the front of the seawall having the most extreme erosion. The two ends of the island are actually accreting, especially the easternmost tip. Galveston has a lack of rivers that deposit sediment, so there is a minimum supply of new sand entering the system. In 2015, a project was put in place to restore the beaches by pumping sand into areas with high erosion range. This project cost over $27 million and was only recently completed in late 2016. Attempts to counter erosion include dredging sand to place on the beaches, which is very expensive and is the method currently in use today. One proposed way to prevent erosion is keeping sargassum, the brown seaweed, on the beaches, or at least leave some of this, which is unpopular with tourists because it smells bad and looks ugly. And it's also unpopular with beachfront businesses because it affects beach traffic. The benefits of sargassum are numerous. The sargassum holds the beach sand in place and provides a barrier to absorb energy from waves. When sargassum degrades, it leaves nutrients that are known to encourage plant growth on the beach.
Action is needed to ensure the continued use of the beaches for the people of Galveston in the future. So the first step to ensure that the beaches stay safe is to make sure that seaweed remains on the beaches. So seaweed is important to helping the beach maintain and prevent erosion. So the second step is geotubes, and geotubes are tubes that are placed under the sand that help prevent erosion by preventing the sand from coming out with the tide. And so geotubes are very effective when implemented, but they're expensive to implement. So this is our second step in the process, because if making sure the seaweed is not removed doesn't prevent erosion, then geotubes is the next step. So the final step for our plan of action is the implementation of hard erosion controls. So hard erosion controls are things like seawalls, which are a drastic step, but they are extremely effective and they prevent erosion very effectively. So if conservation methods do not work, the next step we go to is correction. And so the most effective correction method is sand pumping. And so sand pumping is when they get sand from other beaches and move them to the beach and place it on top of the existing sand layer. And so this works to replace the existing sand layer with more sand. And this is the most effective correction method that we have, and really the only correction method that we have. So finally, the best way to ensure that the beaches remain safe is awareness. So we're going to bring about awareness through social media campaigns to raise awareness, because most young people, who are the ones who are going to have to deal with this issue in the future, are on social media. And so the next way to raise awareness is to make videos in environmental science related to the issue. And finally, we are reaching out to the community, such as celebrities, sports teams, and important people in the community, because they are the type of people that will want to make a change and improve their own image.
Would you consider Galveston a pretty beach? Why or why not?
No, it's gross. It's sticky. We always leave sticky.
Okay. To what extent are you aware of the problems caused by erosion of Galveston beaches?
Very little.
Do you know what is being done to counter the erosion in Galveston? What do you think should be done to counter erosion?
Go back in time and fix the problem at the source.
Which is the problem?
I'm assuming pollution, the shipping channel, all that.
How much does the sargassum, or the brown seaweed that washes up on the shore, affect your perception of Galveston Beach?
Not so much. I mean, it's fine.
Did you know that leaving sargassum on the shoreline reduces the erosion of the beach, of beach sand by waves?
No. Interesting fact.
In a survey conducted of respondents from the Clear Lake area, 85% of those knew what good seaweed did for the beach, which includes enriching the sand, protecting from erosion, and removing unwanted nutrients from the water. Of these participants, 79% of people also didn't know that seaweed removal was such a huge issue. And this is a big problem because 60% of people said that Galveston would be considered an ugly beach, thus the need for seaweed removal to complete the aesthetic appeal of what Galveston needs to be.